Just behind me here, Chan and Sukumaran's Indonesian lawyer has come here to the port at Cilacap to beg the Indonesian president not to execute his clients while there are still very real prospects that corruption took place in issuing their death sentences. Today, the men's former lawyer claimed the judges sentencing Chan and Sukumaran had requested a payment of more than 1 billion rupiah to deliver a verdict less than death.
Before is lower than 20 years, 15 years or 16 or 17 like that. They're asking more money, and then we just explain to them this is the money we have, but they say it's too big risk for them, and then the money is not enough like that. So yeah, what we can do like that. So they said this is the instruction from to make for the death penalty like that.
This is not a matter of pressuring Indonesian governments. This is a matter of upholding the law, upholding the due process of law, and seeking the truth and justice. Before they finish their investigations, there should not be executions. In the name of fairness and justice, not to do the executions. This is not an act of desperado. You know? This is a demand for justice.
As Louise Milligan mentioned, there's been an unusual last-minute development in the Chan and Sukumaran case, that allegation that there was corruption in their sentencing. Their former Indonesian lawyer, Muhammad Rifan, who you just heard, claims that the judges in the original trial asked for a payment of 1 billion rupiah, more than 100,000 Australian dollars, to sentence the men to 20 years or fewer. The deal was apparently done, but Mr Rifan alleges the judges reneged when the Indonesian Attorney General's office and the Supreme Court ordered them to impose the death penalty. To discuss this and the new reports from Indonesia that Chan and Sukumaran are being ordered to say their final goodbyes tomorrow, I was joined from Melbourne by one of their Australian lawyers, Peter Morrissey. Mr Morrissey, there are some reports this afternoon that the men have been told that they must say their final farewells to their families tomorrow afternoon. Is that accurate, do you know?
It's likely to be right, yes. I think around 6 p.m. These procedures can change from time to time, of course.
So, beyond that formal 72-hour notification, what then is the process for the men? Do they get any other sort of formal notice that it's going to be hours away?
They'll get the sort of notice that you've just talked about. There'll be, the officials will be told, the lawyers will be told, the boys will be told that yes, look, you're going to have to wind it up, after a certain period of time. What is certain is that there'll be a period of time when their families are told to go, and they'll just be on their own facing the situation that they face.
If we can turn to the corruption allegations that have come to light today, how long have you been aware of that?
Well, the matters were referred to the Judicial Commission, or the first reference, as I understand it, was back in February. To my memory, it was. The person in question is a previous lawyer, Muhammad Rifan, and his allegations are very serious ones. They're ones where he was waiting for the Judicial Commission to make contact with him. They established an investigation some weeks back, but it appears that they haven't taken a statement from him yet, and I think by his account he's very concerned that now the shooting of the two boys will happen before his account's even been given. Let it be quite clear, we're aware of evidence that corroborates him. He's not whistling in the dark about this. It's a serious allegation. It really needs to be looked at.
Is there any way those allegations could prompt a stay of execution? Is there any legal mechanism for that?
There's no way you can compel the Attorney General to stop his firing squad if he chooses not to. But the Judicial Commission is there to investigate corruption, and this is a serious corruption issue. So there is a way in which the President could defer it. The Supreme Court could postpone the execution. The Attorney could voluntarily postpone the execution. You would think, as a senior law officer, that's in his interest because, assuming that he's against corruption, they would want to get to the bottom of these allegations. And that is a very important issue, and it's come to light because Rifan has been prepared to go public with what he has to say.
There's also an appeal case being heard in Jakarta on behalf of an Indonesian death row prisoner. Could that have any bearing on the Chan and Sukumaran case?
Look, administratively, the Attorney General's department seems to be keen to deal with all of the prisoners, the condemned prisoners, together. So a delay for one may well cause a delay for all. There's no rational, sensible reason, for that, but that just is the case. So, we will cling to anything. I mean, Lee, as you know, we have a job to do. We have to keep fighting here. We'll try any little avenue, and we'll see if anything's got legs. But the Judicial Commission one is a serious matter. That it would be an astounding and weird thing if they proceeded with an execution in light of those allegations now.
As you say, you want to try to keep fighting. At this critical stage, what is the legal team's strategy? What more can you do?
The strategy is the same. We've had a good argument in our hands. The argument is these boys deserve clemency. The sentence was too harsh in the first place. It's against international law. It's wrong in all sorts of ways. But whatever you say about the original sentence, they've changed so much and done so well. So we have got a lovely, good, strong argument. We keep getting stopped from putting it. The President says, I won't hear it, everyone is going to be executed. And the courts keep saying, oh, well, we won't hear it because this is a matter for the President. And so the result is that no one will hear it. That means the legal team's strategy is get a hearing. So we'll keep knocking on any court's door that will listen, and we'll keep knocking on the President's door.
What is in it for the Indonesians to give any ground on this case now, given that it's has a lot of publicity around it and it would involve a loss of face?
I think it wouldn't involve a loss of face so long as it was seen as an act of love and generosity to a neighbour and an act of strength and maturity by them. But, the crisis is coming and coming and coming, and perhaps it will be that the President, as the day actually approaches, will have his mind focused and sharpened, and he will turn to it in hopefully a more compassionate way, and realise that he won't look weak by showing strength. Whenever the Saudis spare one of his workers, which may happen less frequently now, they don't see it as a sign of weakness, they see it as a sign of strength, and that's how he could see it.
I know you said that the plan is to keep fighting, but as the families and Chan and Sukumaran themselves try to deal with this horrifying situation, is there going to come a time over the next 24 hours where it is better to say, I don't think we're going to be able to stop this?
Look, I don't think so. I think there's two things there. First of all, the boys themselves and to some extent the families have been facing this reality for a long time, and they're very strong people, and they've learned a form of wisdom that they didn't expect to have to learn, how to face death, in this, very conscious way. It's their very clear wish that we keep trying. Don't make any mistake about that. They want us to keep trying. And, we're not really here to ease their passing. We're here to fight for justice for them, not just for an abstract lawyer's justice, but for them. That's what they want. And, we will keep trying, and they know that. They know that we may well fail. We failed so far, and, the trigger may be pulled. But I understand your question, Lee, because it's very disturbing to have hope kept alive when it's not really very likely hope. But that's what we've been asked to do, and that's what we will do.